Hello, my name is Naya Edwards, and today I'll be discussing my thought experiment. So, the three major concepts that I want to discuss today is Orlov's, Sargent's, and Friedman's. We discussed 5 concepts, but I do feel like these would impact firms more, so I wanted to talk about them today. So, as I discussed in my thought experiment, I thought that Orlov was very pessimistic. Honestly, in my opinion, it was very over dramatized. However, I did get his point. There is a lot of human disregard for environment. There is a need to invest in the economy, invest in the resources around you, and preserve the resources around you. And there is environmental and social devastation going around in the world today. And we also are lacking in resources, and it doesn't really seem like many people care. I know a lot of my peers, even myself sometimes, we don't keep into consideration that we are running low on fossil fuels. We are running low on natural resources. So, it would be better if we did preserve natural resources. Another article that I, focused in on was Sargent's, and I just pulled 3 concepts that he spoke on out of the discussion. Many things that are desirable are not feasible. Other people have more information about their abilities, their efforts, and their preferences than you do. And in the future, you too will respond to incentives. That is why there are some promises that you like to make, but you can't. So no one will believe those promises because they know that later it will not be in your best interest to deliver. So the many things that are desirable are not feasible. I also thought that this is pessimistic because it was kind of like, looking at the glass half empty. Because I've always been the type of person that thinks, you get what you put in. So I feel that if I want something that's desirable, if I try my hardest, I can get it. But sometimes that is not possible. So that is what Sargent focused in on, letting us know that sometimes things that are desirable are not feasible, and sometimes you have to accommodate. Other people have more information about your abilities, their efforts, and their preferences than you do. I use an example within my thought experiment because there are times where I overcompensate for people. I feel that they can do better than, they actually know that they can do, but I just feel that they have so much potential that I try to push them past their limit, and then, when they don't get the result they want in return, they would get mad at me. And I had to learn that, people know their abilities, they know their strengths, they know their weaknesses, so you have to rely on them to tell you who they are. And finally, in the future, you will respond to incentives. That's why, promises, you have to keep them in mind. So basically, this is just saying that, keep in mind what you promise people because, it may change for you in the future and you may see that it doesn't work in your best interest and you don't want to uphold this promise. So you have to make sure that you keep your word because your word is your bond and that is your credibility. And when you're working for a firm, your credibility is really all that you have. And Friedman, he basically talked about globalization and the world going flat and how all the countries around us were, globalizing and growing within technology, and that was making us, lose kind of like our height against everyone else, all the other countries, and I do believe, he was pretty accurate about this, but at the same time, I do feel like there is not many places that are as advanced as the U.S. So I don't really think that's something to worry about right now, but in the future, it definitely is. So how can they impact modern firms? So if we go back to Orlov and the human disregard for environment and the lack of resources and social devastation, and you look at how that can impact modern firms, that can impact modern firms as far as, getting resources, customers, any income, global inflation, all of those things can impact a firm by us not utilizing our resources, by us not caring about our resources. And also,